Hey, I'm Steve, also known as TerraMantis, and this is my channel ViiTCHA. In this video we're going to cover 10 things that you may or may not know about Metal Gear Solid 5. We'll brush over topics based in lore, game mechanics, and things that are just simply fun to know. But all these Metal Gear topics are either obscure or widely unknown. The topics will get more difficult as we go, and remember to play the game where if you learn something new you hit the like button. But if you already knew everything, don't feel bad to, also hit the like button. Alright, let's get started. For number 10, we're going to start with an easy one, but it's still a cool little detail that can be overlooked nonetheless. So what you may not know is that during the very start of the game, during the prologue mission, just after, flopping around like a fish for a while, and before the game tells you 50 times that it's directed by Hideo Kojima, there's a poster on the corkboard in the hospital. This poster is for Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, the prequel to Phantom Pain. But that isn't the only callback to Ground Zeroes or Hideo Kojima. In fact, Hideo has put himself in both Phantom Pain and the prequel. For those of you who don't know, in Ground Zeroes there was a side op called Intel Operative Rescue. In this mission you could rescue Hideo Kojima, the mastermind behind the Metal Gear series. Well, 9 years have passed since Ground Zeroes to Phantom Pain, and it would appear that Kojima has got himself captured again. In Phantom Pain, Side Op 112 titled Intel Agent Extraction will lead you to none other than freeing Hideo Kojima once more. Now what you may also not know is that if you export your save from Ground Zeroes to Phantom Pain, you will gain access to the Side Op about 30 missions earlier than normal. The reason for this is because if you don't import your save from Ground Zeroes, the Side Op won't appear until after Mission 43. But if you do import your save, you can rescue him after Mission 17. When considering how good his in-game stats are, being able to acquire Kojima so early is extremely useful. Alright, for number 8, we're going to take a look at Quiet. like you've never done that before, you know what I'm saying? Alright, anyway, what I'm really talking about is the actual fight with Quiet during Mission 11, Cloaked in Silence. Simply put, you can easily defeat her by first marking her as a target and then calling in a supply drop at her location. The supplies will hit her, hurt her, and then she'll relocate. Just do this a few times and you'll easily defeat her and decide her fate without a hitch. It's also worth noting that night is the best time to take her on, as spotting the glint off her sniper becomes very easy in the dark, and night vision goggles make her stand out very clearly, making her easy to track and target. For number 7, we're going to talk about the squirt gun. Now, I know what you're thinking, the water pistol is awful, it has no purpose. Well, that just ain't true, my friend. This piece of super high-tech gadgetry is actually one of my favorite pieces of gear in the game. The water pistol can be used to break communication relays like radios and satellites, or the power system of bases. What's even better is this method of destruction will not cause suspicion. Sure, guards will come and investigate, but they won't attribute the malfunction with sabotage. Pretty awesome if you ask me. So now you know the squirt gun is for much more than just making Quiet squirm or pathetically failing at having a wet t-shirt contest with a video game character. Don't worry though, Hideo Kojima has got your back, because with the next topic you can actually take a shower with Quiet. If you get stinky enough, that is. Now what you may not know is that if you stay out in the field long enough, eventually you'll start to stink. You'll smell so bad in fact that flies start to hover around you. I believe it takes 5 consecutive days of being out in the field to make this trigger. You also can't go through water or get rained on because these actions technically count as bathing. Now, when this is the case and you return to Mother Base after not bathing for several days, Ocelot will always give it to you straight and then splash Boss with water to clean him off.
Snake, you stink.
Now what you may also not know is that if you do this same thing, but have Quiet as a buddy with a certain bonding level, when you return the scene will play out a little differently.
Snake, you stink.
Was that just a shameless ass zoom? Let's see that again the way it was intended to be seen. I honestly can't think of anything that objectifies women more than this. Quiet is literally a caged woman who doesn't speak and is being gawked at by sexually frustrated onlookers. Oh, Kojima. Alright, the next one we're going to look at is just a cool little detail. Now in the Phantom Pain, when you take a major injury, you need to go heal yourself so you can regain some state of normalcy.
What's up, boss?
Well, what you may actually not know is that whenever you board your helicopter, depending on the amount of severe injuries you've sustained while out in the field will determine the attention Snake is receiving during the flight. If you receive one major injury, Big Boss will be hooked up to a fairly standard IV. But if you sustain 2 or more injuries while out in the field, Snake will be hooked up to a blood transfusion instead. Alright, for the next one we're going to talk about Snake's catchphrase, "Kept you waiting, huh?" This has actually been in every Metal Gear Solid, but surprisingly it's not in Phantom Pain. It's hidden on posters, your decoy dummies say it,
Kept you waiting, huh? Kept you waiting, kept you waiting.
and it was even in Ground Zeroes by recreating a scene.
Kept you waiting, huh?
But strangely not found in Phantom Pain. Well, actually, that's not true. The iconic catchphrase is hidden this time around. During the very early stages of the game, when first rescuing Miller, he'll ask you to say it.
The magic words, boss. I've been waiting 9 years to hear them.
When he asks, all you have to do is hit the triangle or Y button to activate the iconic catchphrase of Snake.
Kept you waiting, huh? It's really you, Snake.
He must be very refined. Very refined indeed.
Are you having trouble apprehending wandering mother-base soldiers? Do your tranquilizer darts have little or no effect? Are you always being hit by goats over and over again?
Gee golly, am I ever, mister?
You're such an idiot, Billy. With these few tricks, you'll never have that trouble again.
Oh boy!
Introducing the new and improved box. It's made out of cardboard, so you know it's manufactured in the good old US of A. When hiding in the box, Snake's troops will remember his love of boxes and recognize him for the friend he is. Or, with the use of your state-of-the-art tape deck player, they'll come right up to you. No goats or tranquilizers involved. Just turn on their favorite track, Love Deterrence, and they'll walk right up to you, ready to return home and join the fight.
Oh, gee golly, that's just swell, mister!
Alright, for number 2 we're going to take a look at a hidden nod to PT. And for those of you who don't know, PT stands for Playable Teaser, and it was just that. A short-lived playable teaser for the next Silent Hill game that would have been co-directed by both Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro. The project tragically has since been cancelled to the dismay of many Silent Hill fans. But anyway, what you may not know is that if you go into a tent in the southeastern part of Africa, or in a cave during the mission Where Did the Bees Sleep, you can find a radio. This radio is broadcasting the news of a murder-suicide of a slaughtered family.
The day of the crime, the father went to the trunk of his car, retrieved the rifle, and shot his wife as she was cleaning up the kitchen after lunch.
This same broadcast can be heard playing on a radio in the twisted halls of PT as well.
Gun store 2 days earlier. This brutal killing took place while the family was gathered at home on a Sunday afternoon. The day of the crime, the father went to the trunk of his car, retrieved the rifle, and shot his wife as she was cleaning up the kitchen after lunch. When his 10-year-old...
Alright, for number 1, we're going to do exactly what you're all thinking. We're going to shoot Ocelot in the face.
2 + 2 = 5. 2 + 2 = 5.
Now, there's actually a lot more to this than the obvious humor of tranking Ocelot with copious amounts of drugs. What you may actually not know is that each time you shoot him, he will say something different. And if you keep tranking him, he'll say a bit of secret dialogue in Japanese. It's strange that this is one of the only lines that doesn't have subtitles. Well, let me translate it for you. What this translates to is actually a long list of Japanese train stations. Even more interestingly, this list can be found in every Metal Gear Solid game that chronologically takes place after Phantom Pain, meaning the list is only absent from Metal Gear Solid 3's Snake Eater, which takes place before all the other titles. The list can be found in Metal Gear Solid just before entering Otacon's lab, when you're walking through the hallway of massacred people. The echoing, distorted voice of Gray Fox is listing off the train stations with other garbled sounds. I know it's hard to hear, but with a little audio editing magic, it can be heard more clearly. Next, it can be found in Metal Gear Solid 2 when you're wandering around Arsenal Gear all naked. The AI kernel will keep contacting you with very odd Kodak conversations, one of which is the list of train stations. And finally, at the beginning of the mission briefing of Act 4 in Metal Gear Solid 4, Sunny will be singing the names of the train station while she's cooking her infamous sunny side up eggs. So what does all of this mean? Well, I'm actually not sure, but I find it awfully interesting that Ocelot, just before reading off the list of train stations, mentions that he's had drug resistance training.
I'm ready, boss. That won't work on me. I've had drug resistance training.
This training can also be known as R2I, RTI, Pride and Ego Down, or simply Resistance to Interrogation. Many soldiers, for example, if captured, are trained with these techniques to only give their number, rank, and name to any and every question asked during interrogation. The train station list could simply be a nonsensical list of meaningless train stations, an order of operations and code to keep the mind away from divulging vital information during extreme interrogation techniques. Regardless, Ocelot saying it here is significant because it's technically the first time it makes an appearance in the timeline. It then goes on to be said by other pivotal characters in the future. What is this significance? I don't know. What do you guys think it means? Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. So the legendary Japanese folklore surrounding the tanuki, which eats leaves to transform and has an obscenely gigantic ballsack, but that's a discussion for a different video. The reason this armor is significant though is because it's the iconic fluted armor of Demon Souls. Not only that, but its positioning is posed almost identical to Demon Souls box art. -64703388, you might just think to yourself, that's stupid.